Welcome back to the Property Pulse podcast. Today we have the pleasure of hosting Nat Maggs from Remax Revolution. With nearly 2 decades of experience in the real estate industry and a deep-rooted connection to the Logan City region, Nat is a powerhouse of knowledge and expertise. Her commitment to true customer service and integrity has helped countless clients find their dream homes and investment properties. Nat's extensive local knowledge, positive attitude, and dedication to continuous improvement make her a standout in the professional real estate. Join us as we explore Nat's journey, her insights into the Logan City market, and her expert advice on navigating the dynamic world of real estate. Let's dive right in.
Welcome to the Property Pulse podcast, your prime source for Southeast Queensland real estate insights. Understand the latest property data in Queensland to grow your net worth, as Geoff Tomkins interviews industry experts to give you the latest market updates.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Property Pulse podcast. I'm Geoff Tomkins, your host and founder of GCD Property, dedicated to helping you navigate the real estate market in Southeast Queensland. Today, I'm very excited to introduce you to Nat Maggs, a very experienced licensed real estate agent working for Remax Revolution in Shayla Park. Welcome along, Nat.
Hey, how are you, Geoff? Thank you for inviting me on here. It's very exciting.
You're welcome, Nat. Very good. Okay, just before we get underway, I'd just like to explain a general disclaimer there. So, of course, the advice we give today is of general in nature. We don't understand your specific needs or financial position. So, we always recommend that you seek professional advice before making any decisions. So, let's get right into it. So, Nat, I know you're a wealth of experience in the real estate market and been in the industry a long, long time. Please just give us a brief on your history of in the real estate journey.
Thank you very much. I will. Well, it's certainly been interesting, as real estate is indeed. I started over 25 years ago, and actually the agent that I purchased my home through when I moved interstate from Sydney offered me a job and said, Nat, I think you'd be great in real estate. And then the test was reading a little book, going into fair trading and answering 10 questions, and you got your license for $110. Now very different, but I've enjoyed the journey and I'm still enjoying the journey, and it's certainly changed over 25 years. The market, everything has changed. The way we sell has certainly changed, and the buyers and sellers have changed themselves. And that's a positive thing because growth is positive, and we're certainly going through that then and now.
Yeah, fantastic. And I think we obviously as real agents, we work very hard, but I think you've definitely got to have a passion for the industry. Like you said, I love showing property and inspecting properties. I think it's actually essential because we do work, I think probably maybe the general public don't understand, we work a lot of after hours, weekends, nights. You really have to be available to service your clients. Very, very important. Okay. Yeah. How important is it knowing your local community, Nat?
It's very important. So, Geoff, I've been out with you, after we've done a deal or waiting for a client, waiting to show a property to you. And there are a lot of people that know me in the community, and that's because I've pride myself on having to do a lot with charitable organisations, and I've done that for many years. So I was first female president of the Logan Chamber of Commerce in 2001.
Wow.
I've always been in Rotary, so Rotary Logan Home. I did have a little break there for a while because you've got to put family first, and then got back into it. But community is very, very important. I've just sponsored a touch football little rugby league team. I'm actually going to watch them next week. They're so excited. So we've got their jerseys. Little things like that are really important because you're not just the agent in the area. You are also a resident if you do live in the area. You're a person that they see all the time. Your marketing's out there. My signs are out there. And it's important for them to know that you are human, not just the agent.
Yeah, 100%. I think we were recently out inspecting a commercial property and we were having lunch, and you recognised some older clients that you'd done deal with and went and said hello, and they were very welcoming.
I had actually sold them that property 20 years ago.
Wow.
And only just recently have I sold it again for them to another beautiful family. And they've gone to over 50s lifestyle villages. So, yeah, it's lovely when I get that. It's beautiful. I really like it, and I pride myself with that.
Yeah, and I think you're big in the community. As I said, we've been out many times and run into people. So Fantastic. I know sometimes it's not about the price that the sellers are expecting for the property. Sometimes terms and conditions are more important. I don't think everyone realises that, and we've done it ourselves when we've done business together. So please share a recent example where the terms and conditions were more important than the actual sale price.
Absolutely, Geoff. So recently we did a sales deal together, and it was very, very important for my seller to trust me. So I'd worked on getting that listing for about a month. There were other agents out there that also were working on getting that listing. She just built a very good rapport with me. And I had explained to you that we had to take baby steps in doing this sales deal, because at the end of the day, she was a very, very timid lady who had gone through a lot, and we needed to understand her needs. And that's where you were really good, because we worked well on that, because at the end of the day, we knew what she wanted. We knew the price she wanted, but the conditions were important. So to answer your question 100%, the conditions are sometimes more important to the seller than the price. Reason being, well, she wanted to know that she could rent back for a period after the settlement. So therefore she wasn't rushed, because she had 37 years of residing in that home, with memories, with things to pack up, with children to come and get what they wanted and so forth, and also to find a property. So she wasn't rushed. And Maureen was really, really happy with the outcome of that. And that's where you've got to really find yourself comfortable with working with buyer's agents. And there's a small amount that you will, and there's some that you won't. And that's normal in the industry that we are in. So you're really good at that, Geoff. You find the niche. We meet about the sellers, we meet about their needs, and then you come forth, and 9 times out of 10, you always bring forth the contract that's solid and goes through. But the conditions are what we need. And as an agent, we have to explain to buyer's agents that that's for our sellers, because we work for the seller and you guys work for the buyer. And you've just got to find a medium with that.
Correct. And I think that was a great example. Maureen didn't have to, deal with a lot of people coming through open homes and people putting in lots of offers. I think it was very straightforward. You had a price expectation. I had a buyer. It was an estate buyer. So I did the inspection. There wasn't a lot of people traipsing through the home. It was I think we did quite a quick walkthrough in the internal of the home.
We did.
So it made it very easy, and we offered a rent-free period back to Maureen. So she was able to
and you
move
built
on.
a good rapport with her too, which was really good.
Oh, thank you.
It is a team effort when you're an agent and a buyer's agent. And when you bounce off each other and know then what the seller needs and what your buyer is expecting, then that's a good outcome.
Sure. And that probably really a good lead into the next question about buyer's agents. I'm sure you're seeing more and more buyer's agents.
Yeah, look, absolutely. Within the last, I think, to be honest with you, in the last 8 years, we have seen a lot more buyer's agent come into the market. And that's good. That's a positive thing, because we will, I must get about 4 or 5 emails a week requesting if I've got properties available for the descriptions of their buyers. And, you work well with them. You answer if you do, you don't. I obviously, if listing a property that's suitable for you and your buyers, because I know by now what your buyers want, I will contact you first, and then if that's not successful, I'll go and then contact the other buyer's agents. And they're aware of that from the beginning, which is good when we're upfront with them as well.
Yeah, I think that's important for people watching that are thinking of buying or selling in the current market, especially we're in southeast Queensland, around that Logan home area. It's a very strong market, and a lot of property, I think, would you agree, Nat, is selling off market now before it's even gone on to realestate.com?
Absolutely. They're definitely selling off market. And, that does suit some sellers, because they don't want, as you've said before, they don't want a number of people walking through their open homes. Now, our average people walking through our open homes on a Saturday are still 14 to 15 groups, and even more.
Wow.
So they don't want that, and they feel comfortable in just having the 1 to 2 or 3 buyers that you bring in on private inspection, and then that makes that easier for us as well. But the market in Logan itself is still very, very strong. We've got 70 suburbs in Logan. We've got 368,000 residents in Logan. And I would honestly say to you that is increasing at a rapid rate. which is positive for us as agents, but also positive for you guys as buyers agents. And the market itself has gone up dramatically within the 5-year period. We assumed during COVID that we would not be busy and having a holiday, but we certainly didn't, as you didn't either. And that was a good thing. Was COVID a good thing? No, it wasn't. But it did educate our buyers and our market to the need of where interstate buyers wanted to live here for lifestyle,
Sure,
convenience. We've got a lot of things to offer in Queensland, and we have more space. So our space, I'm from Sydney. I was born in Sydney, raised in Sydney. I've gone back recently, probably 4 months ago, and the traffic is phenomenal. To get to somewhere that should have taken me 15 minutes literally took me an hour and 10 minutes. And that's the norm. So they want to escape that and they want to come up here. I'm not saying that our freeway and motorways aren't busy, and yeah, they are if there's an accident. But other than that, they're smooth, and it'll take you generally, let's say in a suburb where I am here now in Shayla Park, we're 30 minutes from Gold Coast and we're 27 minutes from Brisbane. So we're in the middle of the corridor, and I think that's why a lot of buyers do tend to want this area, investors and homeowners, because of the convenience.
Great. And that really leads into the next question. If you've got someone watching today is thinking about investing or buying their first home or their second home and sitting on the fence, should they wait? We all hear about the media talk about prices collapsing or going up or down. You're in the market, you're speaking to buyers and sellers every day of the week. What's your thoughts? If you're sitting on the fence and not sure whether you should purchase now or wait 12 months, what would your advice be from your experience?
Well, I always say in real estate, and a lot of agents do, we don't have a crystal ball.
Yeah.
So we can't foresee what's going to happen, but we certainly know that it's not going to reduce. Our prices aren't going to get lower, and our prices are not going to stop increasing. Why? Because we have such a high demand for homes, but we have minimal listings out there. Stock is dry. And when you have that, you have an outcome of high purchase, and because that's driving up the market, because there's not much out there for the purchasers to buy. It's a good time to buy. And you know what? At the end of the day, we've got so many things and positives about purchasing now. We've got brokers that have access to 125 lenders.
Wow.
They're educated. We've got buyers now educated in the market through technology. And that's a positive thing.
Yeah, I think that was the next question was about how technology has changed the real estate market and being able to transact. And I've seen it working with clients all over Australia, and now buyers from New Zealand made it a bit easier. So how have you found the experience with working with technology made it easier for your sellers and yourself?
I was selling real estate in my younger years, and we were typing a contract. We didn't have internet. We would drive the buyers around to the properties, and we would then get the pictures developed at a chemist or Big W or wherever, and we'd have them printed in a newspaper and then into Homes Pictorial, which was a very popular magazine at the time in sales. Now it's totally different. One thing that I do notice is while it is a positive, but it's not. We've got, before the buyer walks into the door of an inspection of a property, they're already educated on price. They're educated on stats. They know exactly where the property is in the market. Yes, every property is different, and that's why we're hired to come in with a price that is realistic and suitable for the market at the time, because we all know if a property is listed too high, it sits and it doesn't look good. But generally out there, our sellers know and are educated themselves before they even have us out. So it's convenient for the buyer and the seller, and it also takes away the doubt when you go to a listing presentation, because they already know. They've already made up their mind of what they want for price. It's up to us to educate them to see if it's realistic or not. So that's where technology certainly helps us as an agent and helps yourself as a buyer's agent.
Yeah, great feedback, Nat. And I think from my point of view, seeing, where, and for your selling a property, you've got so many buyers, because now you're not only dealing with the local people that read it in the newspaper, you've got the internet, and we're a worldwide economy now, and people are buying these properties interstate quite significantly in Queensland, southeast Queensland, and also now we're getting those overseas buyers. So it's putting a lot of competition, and why it's important to have a good selling agent such as yourself that's up to date, got a good database.
Thank you, Geoff.
You're welcome, because you might have a buyer that's prepared to pay, over and above the market value from interstate or overseas. So having this total and being able to sign contracts electronically, being able to upload.
DocuSign is a very good thing. It took me a while to learn it, let me tell you now, because I'm not that savvy with technology, which you do know, Geoff. But it certainly the one thing it has done is as long as you always advise the client, your seller and your buyer, to read over the contract or send it over to their solicitor prior, you're safe, because you're not in front of them now 9 times out of 10 explaining that contract to them. I always say to my buyer and seller, when you receive it, call me with any questions. I'll walk you through it, or I give them the option still to meet with them. I find the elderly sellers and buyers want that one-on-one, so we'll still do that as agents, as you will as well, Geoff.
Yes.
Because that's what they want, and they don't have a computer. They're not tech savvy, so we're still doing that. But that's the only one thing I find with the DocuSign setup and the electronic signing is it takes away that one-on-one as the agent and the buyer and seller. But that's okay, because they're happy with that. And as long as you explain everything to them and you advise, if you're not sure, call your solicitor. And they get, they become more confident once they know and you've said that.
That's right. And as the generations change, more and more people are very smart with technology. We're in our daily lives, we're involved in dealing with it. So the fact of, we can upload and documents and everything gets checked and docu-signed. It's a great thing. Even from the finance point of view, being able to upload all your financial statements very quickly to the broker to be able to get an answer.
It's so handy. And I'll give you an example. I have a broker, David from Scope Financial in Sydney, and I've always used him, and I refer clients to him. And they're so happy because, they say to me, Nat, he's in Sydney. Well, everything's done by internet and technology, so really it doesn't matter. And I can't believe we've come that far. And successfully, and it's monitored, which is really good. So, and that is really important.
Yeah, I think it's only positives. Well, thank you today, Nat. It's been a great insight. We've had a
thank you, Geoff.
You're welcome.
See you at the next deal.
I will be soon. So
thank you.
It's just important to have that relationship with buying and selling agents. I see more and more working together and helping clients get on the property ladder or sell their properties for a premium price.
Absolutely.
But I really appreciate your time that you spent with us today, Nat. I know you're a very busy lady listing and selling. And
any time for you, Geoff. Thank you so much for inviting me on.
You're welcome. Thanks, and have a great day, everyone.
You too. Bye.
Thanks for joining us today. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please share the episode. We'd love you to leave us a review, as it really helps others to find our podcast and benefit from the content that we share. Remember to hit the subscribe button to keep up to date with the latest episodes. And if you'd like to make contact with Nat or myself, our details will be in the show notes. See you next time.